Okay. Actually, this is just a quick response to Lana Life's video about knockdown power. Um, she's 100% correct. There is no guarantee that any round is going to completely stop someone. And the reason you do pick the largest caliber, there is a reason for it. The larger the caliber, the wider the bullet can be. The wider the bullet can be, the more the bullet can weigh. The more the bullet weighs increases the permanent cavity that the bullet will actually make upon entering the target. And like she said, the bullets really do expand for the hollow points, which are, at least in my opinion, the best defensive handgun round you can have. Though you cannot make an across the board statement. What I carry is a 180 grain, 40 caliber hollow point or Hydra shock. Right now, I'm still waiting on my Hydra shocks to get into the store so I can buy them. Um, Here you can see, and with the higher the weight, again, the greater the permanent cavity it makes. And there is a difference between the permanent cavity and the temporary cavity. The temporary cavity is honestly, it's basically a shock wave that occurs upon the entering of the bullet into the body or the ballistics gel. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the bullet enters, actually, I can probably use the bullet. The bullet enters, and upon entering the target, these things are displaced that are behind the bullet, but they have to go somewhere. So, what happens is when the bullet enters, these things bulge out and up and down, left and right. They move out of the way of the bullet. Um, so that is your temporary cavity. Swells up pretty big. The permanent cavity is, in this case with the hollow point, when it hits, it goes in and that hollow point kind of peels back and expands. The tissue that round will take with it and completely destroy, uh, that is your permanent cavity that you will have. Like she said, there are a lot of reasons that people can be shot and continue fighting. Um, Shot placement is a big one. If you cannot connect with your target, your round does you no good. If a 40 or a 45 is too big, don't carry a 40 or a 45. It's better to hit your target than to have a bigger bullet and miss your target. Another one is drugs. I want to say it was here in Ohio back when they were using 357s. Um, Two police officers responded to a breaking and entering call. Um, Upon entering the house, after they discussed this with the neighbors, and the neighbor was like, I'm pretty sure there's somebody in there that shouldn't be, they went into the house. It was a male and a female. Upon entering the house, they moved through the house, clearing the rooms. Well, they got to one room, and there was a guy in the room um, who assaulted the two police officers. The male police officer uh, shot the intruder 3 times, at which point the intruder took the weapon from the officer and shot the police officer in the head. The police officer died. After that, the female officer, I believe, shot the gentleman in the chest once, in the head twice, and then proceeded to close the gap towards him as he raised his weapon to her. Um, I want to say the ensuing fight took about 45 seconds or a minute. And then the man finally died. Uh, and that was from a 357 mag. There is no guaranteed stopping. The guy got shot a lot. He didn't die. Autopsy reports came back. Massive amounts of narcotics in this man's system. Um, the other thing is your mindset is very important. Lima was, I agree with her completely. Your mindset has to do with, you have to have it set in your mind that at the end of the day, should something occur that you don't want it to, you're going to be the one to walk away. That's not an easy thing, to sit there and think about, but I mean, let's face it, that's the reality of the situation. If it comes down to you and another person, is it going to be you that walks away or is it going to be them? That's the mindset. And when I'm going to talk about that real quick, and when you have that mindset, what happens when you have this big moment? Something big happens, you can't believe it. You're shocked. Your body then enters the body alarm response. Um, and what happens in that is basically you start here at this point, and there's your oh boy moment. Whoop. You're up here. All of a sudden, then, once you hit this point, you're going to stay there. Your adrenaline is up, your heart is beating, things are going crazy. If you are sighted in on a target, you're going to get tunnel vision. You're up here. That's going to continue. This is the plateau. That is actually where the majority of your confrontations will probably take place. And in that, that is where you revert to your most basic training skills. What have you been trained to do? Juan was 100% correct on that as well. Um, you've got your training. Well, that's what you're going to go for. Um, and it's a tough thing because a lot of times it'll happen and you won't even be thinking about it. Because you have to understand that the average concealed carry confrontation in the state of Ohio happens within 6 feet and takes a total of less than 3 seconds, I believe. That's that's really quick. That is extremely quick. Well, that's the statistics. Nothing you can really do about that. You revert to your most basic training. So I just wanted to post this, give you guys some of the reasons that I completely agree with Lima, and yeah, keep watching. Love your channel.